We're now on our third day of looking at who we are, what we were created to be. We looked at, first of all, that we are creatures. God is the creator. Secondly, we looked at the fact that we are subjects because God is our king. And now we're going to look at the third thing that we are. And the third thing that we are is that we are image bearers. I am a creature, I am a subject, and I am an image bearer. Genesis 1 verse 26 says, "And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth." So God created man in his image, in his own image, in the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. So here, this passage teaches us, it says several times here, that God created us in his image. So again, we have to ask ourselves the question, so what? So what that we are created in God's image? Well, three things. First of all, because we are created in God's image, our value isn't found in our abilities, accomplishments, or the opinion of others. It is found in our Creator. It's really important for us to understand this truth. There's a lot of people today that get really discouraged because they can't play football as well as their friends, or they get really discouraged because they feel like they aren't as pretty or as good looking as someone else, or they feel like they have a disability that makes it so they can't accomplish what other people are accomplishing, or because other people make fun of them, or because they don't have the same level of job that someone else has, or because they don't get as good grades as someone else gets, that they aren't as valuable as other people. But God says very clearly that our value isn't found in our abilities. It's not found in whether or not you can shoot a ball through a hoop, or whether or not you're as intelligent as your classmate, or whether or not you're as good looking as other people. It's not found in our accomplishments. It's not because we've been able to get a really good, high-paying job, or we have a really nice house. It's not found in the opinion of others. It doesn't matter what your classmates think about you or what other people think about you. What makes you valuable is the fact that God chose to make you in his image. You reflect the glory of the King of the universe, the Creator, the most important being in the universe, chose to make you in his image so that you could have a relationship with him. Nothing else in the world besides human beings were created in God's image. Trees, water, stars, planets, animals, all of those things were created by God, but none of those things were created to have a relationship with God. You, as a human being, were created to have a relationship with God. You are created in God's image. And because of that, Genesis 9 verse 6 says, if we take someone else's life, we deserve to have our life taken because we were created in God's image. Every life is valuable. Every human life is valuable because we are created in God's image. Your life is valuable no matter what anyone else says about you, no matter what kind of talents or abilities you think you have or you think you don't have. You are valuable because God created you in his image. In James, it talks about the fact that we shouldn't talk evil of other people. We shouldn't make fun of other people because they're different than we are, because we are created in God's image. If you have a painting of a person like we talked about in the first part of this series, and if that painting, let's say, is a self-portrait of an extremely famous painter, let's say Michelangelo, and Michelangelo signs that painting and says, this is a painting of myself, that painting is extremely invaluable. Why? It might have rips in it. It might even be flawed, but it's extremely valuable because it was created by a very special person. And it reflects to all the world who that person is. Because of that, that painting is very, very valuable. We are valuable not because we can accomplish a certain task, not because we are better looking than other people, not because other people think we're valuable. We are valuable. You are valuable because you were created by the most important and glorious being in the universe to reflect who he is. And because of that, the second thing we see is because we're created in God's image, our purpose is to reflect God's character to those around us. We were created to show everyone else who God is. And the only way we can do that is through Christ, like we'll look at in coming things. And then finally, our job, like it says in the passage we read, is to have dominion over the earth. God is the ultimate king, like we looked at last time. But because God created us in his image, he created us to rule this world like he rules. We were created to take care of the earth and to use the earth to help other people, to take the earth and develop it to be a blessing to others, just like he does. We rule under his ultimate rule. We were created in God's image. So the three things we saw so far, who am I? I am a creature, I am a subject, and I am an image bearer.